Facing intense heat from their allies, US President Joe Biden and Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison also met on the sidelines of the UNGA. Their meeting focused on the newly announced AUKUS deal. The two leaders pushed back against the deal's critics in Europe. Joe Biden emphasized on the need for a free and open Indo-Pacific. He said the meeting with Morrison would lay the groundwork for the big meeting on Friday, the first in-person Quad summit.
We have a big agenda to discuss today, starting with our partnership to advance our vision of a free and open Indo-Pacific. And this conversation that we're going to continue with Japan, India on Friday, and the first in-person Quad leaders meeting. It's a historic event, and I think we're all looking forward to it.
Prime Minister Morrison outlined the shared tenets of the US-Australia partnership. He said the new alliance will guarantee global freedom and free navigation in the Indo-Pacific.
And the United States and Australia have always shared a partnership that is about a world order that favours freedom. And that's why we've always stood together. And in pursuing that freedom, it of course goes to our security interests. But more than that, it goes to global prosperity. It goes to global freedom, the freedom of our seas, the freedom of our region.
Both leaders were meeting for the first time since the announcement of the AUKUS alliance. The new military partnership has hogged headlines at the UN. France has recalled its ambassador in protest against it, and on Monday, the EU foreign ministers expressed full solidarity with Paris. Meanwhile, US President Joe Biden made his debut at the 76th session of the UN General Assembly, his biggest international summit since the botched Afghan pullout. Joe Biden stressed on the fact that the US is not seeking a new Cold War, acknowledged the increasing concerns about the rising US-China tensions. Listen to what he said.
We are not seeking a new Cold War or a world divided into rigid blocks. The United States is ready to work with any nation that steps up and pursues peaceful resolution to shared challenges, even if we have intense disagreements in other areas, because we'll all suffer the consequences of our failure.
Biden also said that the U.S. will seek a return to the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, commonly known as the Iran nuclear deal, if Tehran does the same. Last week saw the minor breakthrough in the nuclear talks, with the UN atomic watchdog and Iran reaching an agreement to avert the nuclear deal crisis.
The United States remains committed to preventing Iran from gaining a nuclear weapon. We're working with the P5+1 to engage Iran diplomatically and to seek a return to JCPOA. We're prepared to return to full compliance if Iran does the same.
And as for South Korea, Joe Biden called for complete denuclearization of the Korean peninsula, calling for a plan to increase stability in the peninsula.
We seek serious and sustained diplomacy to pursue the complete denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula. We seek concrete progress toward an available plan with tangible commitments that would increase stability on the peninsula and in the region, as well as improve the lives of the people in the Democratic People's Republic of Korea.
And Biden once again called for a two-state solution to the Israel-Palestine conflict, saying it was the only way forward for peace in the region.
The commitment of the United States to Israel's security is without question, and our support for an independent Jewish state is unequivocal. But I continue to believe that a two-state solution is the best way to ensure Israel's future as a Jewish democratic state, living in peace alongside a viable, sovereign and democratic Palestinian state.
WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.